Hi everyone, how you doing? It's nice to see you. Welcome to Positively Spiritual. My name is Shannon Gilmore. There we go. How you doing? It's nice to see you guys. Okay, let me just fix this up a little bit. I got the light shining in my eyes. I don't like the light shining in my eyes. I can't stand that. Here we go. There you go. Now you guys can see me. How you doing? It's nice to see you. Welcome to Positively Spiritual. Wow. So I want to apologize to you guys. I wasn't here last night just because I've been trying to work out and I've been doing some exercises and that's catching up with me. Hi Diane, nice to see you. Welcome. Yeah, so one of the things about exercising is that until you get into the routine and your body gets acclimatized to the workout routine, you start getting tired. And that was me. 2-hour power walks in 2 days back to back. And I'm going to do another one today. So yeah, so I was tired. But thank you everyone for your concern. We are fine. I am fine. We are doing this. We are living the dream. And I forgot my water. Can you guys just hang on a sec? Just hang on a sec. I'll be right back. Excuse me. Oh no, I have my water. Where did it go? Oh, it's behind my computer. Excuse me. Okay. I'm ready. Okay. You walked 57 blocks in January. Wow, good for you, Diane. How did that feel? Freaking tiring, right? Whoa. Took me 2 hours in one day. 2.5 hours in one day. Wow. Good for you. I want to get back to I was walking 4 to 5, 6 hours a day. I want to get back to that because I was really fit. Hello, Scarlett. Nice to see you. Scarlett is our resident monitor. So if you guys would like to have comments, questions, and suggestions and get my attention, please see her. You can also just use my name, Shannon, and then pose your question and your comment if it's directed for me. That will help. But sometimes I get talking as there are things to say on this video and on this chat. So Scarlett is my daughter, and she's wonderful, she's fair, she's kind, she's sweet. And I'm not just saying that because she's my girl. No, she's my best friend. But we're all family here, and it's nice to have her here. So, excuse me. Me. Okay, we're good. We're good to go. So how are you guys all doing? It is really nice to see you. And today I want to go through the science of conformity and how it relates to narcissism. Yes, there's scientific experiments on society. And I'm not sure we're not going through one ourselves this very moment with this golden age, but we're going to get to the bottom of that in this video. The science of submission, how forced conformity in mice reflects narcissistic control. You guys like scientific experiments? You guys like learning the science behind human behavior? You're going to want to stick around as we're going to just give you bullet points, short and sweet, little insights into what's going on and how you can keep yourself safe from those people who want to force us into conformity. I'd like to say to myself that I'm a nonconformist. And we become nonconformists when we leave the narcissistic relationship. In order to buck the system, in order to stand in your divinity, in order to stand outside the controlling nature of the world, you first have to submit and conform to the ways of the world. That's why we've been narcissistically traumatized. Everything is done with reason. So, imagine a world where every move you make is dedicated to unseen forces. A world where your choices aren't truly your own, but rather the result of carefully orchestrated manipulation. Well, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Well, science has revealed that conformity isn't just a social phenomenon, it's a biological one. What? Really? Through experiments on mice, poor little critters, we see the eerie mechanisms of forced submission play out in that mirror narcissistic control in our human relationships. Really. In one study, mice were conditioned to fear a harmless stimulus, not because they experienced harm firsthand, but because they saw other people react in terror. The fear became contagious, spreading like wildfire through mere observation. Now, if this does not resonate with you, then may I invite you to look up scare jumps where one person pretends to be scared as one person pretends to see something that scares the heck out of them, and the person that they're with also becomes scared and runs away. I mean, these are YouTube funny videos. These are the gags or pranks that show you that those who often witness the fear of another person will also react in fear and run away, even though there's nothing there. There's no harm. Our brain convinces us that what we see isn't our reality, or what we don't see is our reality. Now, consider how narcissists operate. They don't always need to act directly. Sometimes they simply let you watch someone else suffer. You see them discard a friend, humiliate a partner, punish a child with silent treatment. You see them send a message to you through innuendo. Obey or you're next. And the results? A psychological cage where fear dictates behavior even in the absence of direct punishment. Now for me, I need to say something here, because it's been my experience with narcissism, male and female, that they tried to buy my loyalty. And often narcissists do that. They try to buy my loyalty. Take advantage of what I do in real life and here on the internet by using my counseling tactics against me. It works for a little time because I can't see it, because I've been trained to believe everybody, as everybody has a right to believe, and I'm not going to stop that. But I will put a stop to the nonsense. Eventually I do. And I'm not being, excuse me, I'm not being confident. I mean, it does hurt when you realize that, narcissists manipulate, but that's just what they do. But be careful, because those special favors, those special gifts, those, promises of a new job, promises of, getting you that special ticket into the ball game or whatever it is, comes with a price. Because when you see the narcissist treat somebody like crap, those gifts buy your silence. And oftentimes a narcissist will put you in a position to watch somebody else suffer. And that is also a message that if the narcissist can do that to somebody else, they're going to do it to you. And chances are, just keep watch of this, because you watch somebody else suffer. No one's coming to that sufferer's rescue, right? You're certainly not. So the narcissist is showing you that you're the joke, because the narcissist will eventually do the same thing to you, and nobody will come to your rescue. So use your empathy. When you see somebody suffer, get in touch with your empathy and say, gee, I'm seeing something here. I need to stand up, because right is right, wrong is wrong. And I'm seeing somebody suffer. I don't want to, I could very well be in that person's shoes. And how would that feel like for me? When you see something wrong, stand up, because our conditioning with the narcissist is trying to teach us that right is wrong and wrong is right. They try to buy our silence, and it doesn't work. So the narcissist uses other people. Thank you for the loves. The narcissist uses other people to show the kind of power that the narcissist has, the kind of intimidation, and they send a message to you: obey me or you're next. So just be careful. Hi, Apollo Star. Nice to see you. Welcome. Come on in. Yeah, you jump in the way. We have to. Like, when we see people bullied or people being hurt in public, we have to stand in the way. It's just, it's our nature. It's who we are. And I like that about us, but the narcissists, they try to make us weak by, not standing up for ourselves, and we need to stand up for ourselves. I got the little doer going today. Alfalfa. There we go. I thought it was going to stay up. It's not going to stay up now. Now it's not going to stay up. I want the alfalfa look. There we go. Kinda. There we go. Yeah! Little rascals. Alfalfa. There we go. That's so cool. I love it. That's so cool. Okay. Let's see if we can do this. Okay. I'm going to keep it. Just to know that I can, right? I'm not going to get a curl like that every other day. No. I'm channeling alfalfa right now. I've been trying, and it worked. And look, Ma, no gel. Cool. All right. So you always get criticized by a narc. That's true. That's true. You're feeling great, Apollo. I feel your energy. Welcome. Come on in. So here's another thing. Another experiment found, done on mice, that increased dopamine levels made mice more likely to submit to dominant figures. So you've been juicing a lot and making my gut so much better. Amen. Awesome. That's great. Great news. Keep going. You're doing great. I love to hear that. Okay, so with this experiment, scientists found that the brains of mice that were increased in dopamine levels, they were more biologically wired to fall in line with power. This explains why victims of narcissistic abuse often struggle to break free. The love bombing phase, the flooding of praise, gifts, attention, creates a dopamine high so intoxicating that victims become addicted. And this is where the narcissist uses to buy your loyalty that we talked earlier. And over time, this reward system turns to a control mechanism where validation is dangled like a prize, but only given when submission is complete. And if you non-conform, if you do not conform, the narcissist will say, look at what I've done for you. Everything that I've done for you, I've given you a new place to live, I've given you a new job, I went to bat for you, and this is how you repay me? So just be careful of that. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone, and it has been found to increase conformity among mice, making them more likely to follow group behaviors, even when it wasn't in their best interest. This is the essence of trauma bonding. A narcissist cycles between affection and cruelty, making their victim cling tighter to them instead of pulling away. The victim's biology betrays them. Oxytocin reinforces the bond, ensuring that even when they suffer, they stray. We're losing the alfalfa bit here. Oh, we lost it. We lost it, guys. Oh well. All right, we tried. We had it going on for a little bit. So this oxytocin, or bonding, the lovey-dovey hormone, is the essence of trauma bonding, because the narcissist cycles between affection and cruelty, causing us to bond closer to them instead of walking away. We can't feel it. If you can't feel it, you can't see it. Ooh. And we're often bonded to them thinking, yeah, well, they helped me out, so I'm obligated to them. No, you're not. You're not obligated to somebody when they have bad intentions. Yeah. And I'm giving my meaner look right now. Trying to, because I'm staring at the camera, talking to those meaners out there. You know who you are. We've got meaners watching. You know the diabolical things that you do. You thought you could. You just thought you could. You were close. But we're on to you. God has our backs. So anyways, the narcissist will have you bond to them, often immediately, so that should they ever need defending, should they ever need your supply, should they ever need validation, should they ever need sympathy from you, you'll be ready to give it, because they have used bonding as a way to control you, not solidify a loving, kind relationship. No, they are in this to win it. And they will control you, and they will try to take over your business. They will try to take over your life. If, see, some narcissists, I don't know what's going on with me. Excuse me. I need to take my kelp pills. I don't like seaweed. Anyways, some narcissists, they are patient enough, okay, where they will love bomb you carefully and systematically. But when they see that you have something that they want, people's attention, the narcissist goes right in there, and they're quick and slick. I like that, quick and slick. That needs to be on a t-shirt somehow. Quick and slick is the narcissist's, I don't know, mantra. I don't know. Anyways, I've noticed a pattern with the narcissists that I've seen. They use your popularity, your gifts and your talents, your faith in God. They use that, all that, to get an in, because, you know, the narcissist wants attention, right? They want attention. And they will use your platform, your, excuse me, your position in your job. They will triangulate you away from your boss, away from your coworkers, away from your family, because it's all a ruse to get attention. it's not so much as a matter of control, like competition, as we think it is. I'm personally believing the more I go through this, more I'm thinking it's just an attention seeking. So that, you know, there's a saying that the more times people are told a lie, the more they believe it. And the more, like, it's not just one person believing a lie and being told that lie over and over and over again, they'll believe it. It's about a group of people believing the same lie. It eventually becomes truth. And that's what the narcissist is trying to do, is that they know they're wrong. And in order for them to be right, they need people to validate them, to prove to themselves that they are right. So that's probably why they triangulate and use your system of support against you, whether it be in the workplace, whether it be in your family home, or with your social engagements, because eventually they're going to be found out. And if they can have somebody on the outside of them, especially if you're saying that the narcissist is wrong and they've sidelined and caused your family and friends to believe the narcissist instead of you, that validates their bad behavior, and then they are alleviated of taking responsibility. So, okay. Scarlett says, I have no doubt there are many who are watching, but may they learn. Amen. Hi, Joe. Thank you for sharing what you are. We need to hear it. Aw, thank you, Joe. We need to see this narcissism for what it is, because they are very tricky, tricky, tricky. And just because you're educated about narcissism doesn't mean that you're not going to fall victim to them. You will. But you know what? It's not going to hurt. It's going to be it's not going to hurt, and it's going to be less harm than what it originally was, because the more you learn, the more you grow. And you know, when you realize the narcissism for what it is, you just kind of snap out of it. Hi, Sophia. Nice to see you. It's good to see you. In one of the most disturbing findings about mice, we're talking about some experiments that scientists have done on mice to show how people conform as our humanity. Narcissists use our humanity against us, our chemical hormones, our biology and psychology against us. But they don't know. They don't know they're doing this, but this is, this is what they do. And I've got doers all over the place. Maybe that one will, no, we're not going to do alfalfa right now. So one of the most disturbing findings is mice saw that others tolerated suffering. These mice that saw other mice tolerate suffering were less likely to resist their own pain. Helplessness has been proven that it is learned. They learned helplessness, accepting abuse as an escapable reality. Wow. I've been in the position of helplessness. I didn't know it was learned. Just like we're taught how to think, we're taught how to behave. Narcissists create the same dynamic within us. Over time, we become numb to their instincts. We become numb and dulled as our need and our will to fight is stripped away from us. We stop questioning, we stop resisting, and we endure the abuse. So when somebody says, well, I don't know why you leave, it's because it's learned helplessness. It's not because we want to. We don't want to endure that. I remember even praying to God to, a year ago, God, I didn't get myself into this narcissistic relationship to abuse myself. Like I'm seriously not doing this consciously on purpose. Like, help me to stop abusing myself because this is retarded. Like, this is dumb. Like, dumb behavior. I said that to myself. Like, I almost felt like my ego was laughing at me when I was so distraught. I was like, I could barely talk. I was dry heaving, like, and I'm just like, I'm sitting in my car bawling, and I'm like, surely, God, I didn't do this to hurt myself. I'm not here to abuse myself. What kind of person am I that I would allow this abuse to happen? Like, am I really want to abuse myself? Like, God, help me. It was seriously that bad. And when I heard that back at me, I was just like, Shannon, wait a minute. Hi, Enthusiastic Tent. How you doing? Nice to see you. When I heard myself say that, I felt my ego laughing at me and mocking. I'm like, Shannon, you're such an idiot. You're so blind. You don't even know the control I have. And I heard myself say these words, like, I did not do this to abuse myself, God. And I heard myself, and I just like straightened up, and I'm just like, oh no, I didn't. Oh no, I didn't. And if I've been blinded, may God give me the wisdom to now see, because I'm not going to do this anymore to myself. Narcissists create a dynamic where we become numb to the abuse. We're dulled to their instinctual ways, and our need to fight for ourselves and non-conform is stripped away. They do this over time. We stop questioning, we stop resisting. Have you ever seen the Star Trek episode where Captain Jean-Luc Picard was assimilated into that hive mind called the Borg? We are Borg, we are one, Well, if you've seen the episode of that, then you know that compliance for authority figures is the end all be all for control and domination, especially when it comes to the world. See, with the Borg, even though everyone was assimilated, there was only one person, the hive leader, who was left, who had just enough resistance to maintain authoritarian. Now, this hive leader, she didn't give up complete autonomy to completely assimilate, even though she was still one with them, one with everybody else. She needed to remain somewhat separate in order to have others, the outsiders, bend to their will. And so she needed to have this hive mind while still being somewhat separate to understand the mind of outsiders, so that she could have the outsiders conform and assimilate with the collective. Now, the Borg's mantra was, there can only be one, and resistance is futile. They would say that. Jean-Luc would say, resistance is futile. You'll know the exact, when you hear that, you'll know exactly the Star Trek episode. Star Trek was really good. But it's true that there can only be one collective. For the narcissism to work, for world domination to work, we do have to assimilate and conform. But the narcissist remains just slightly separate from us in order to, keep us under their control and keep other people under their control as well. Because the narcissist is the one to manage the collective. They own the collective, but they're not fully part of the collective. They don't fully become one with us. Hello, Mother Goose. How you doing? It's nice to see you. I love your name. Andrea, the goose mother. I love that. It's so nice. It's so cute. The reality is chilling. What happens to mice in a lab also happens to people in toxic relationships, dysfunctional families, and oppressive societies. The tools may differ: fear, social hierarchy, chemical manipulation, but the outcome is the same: obedience through control. But there's one crucial difference. Humans can snap out of it. We can wake up. Unlike mice, we have the power of awareness. We have the power of choice and rebellion. And the moment you recognize the manipulation, the spell begins to break. The fear loses its grip. The dopamine-driven addiction weakens. The oxytocin bond no longer chains you. The key to breaking free is knowing you're in the cage to begin with. The key, in a world designed to condition us, whether by narcissists or social structures, the ultimate act of defiance is to start thinking for yourself. Start thinking about the good things. What do you want for yourself? Just because you don't think you can get it doesn't mean you can't have it. It's just a matter of perspective. True freedom isn't in the absence of control. It's the ability to recognize when control is being forced upon you. And your control is choosing, making the willful choice on your own to resist that control. Have you heard of John B. Calhoun's Universe 25 experiment? This is pretty insidious. I mean, I don't like experiments on animals to begin with. And this one showed the breakdown of society. And I stumbled on this today for no accident, because what we're going through with the new golden age, just keep all of this in mind with what's going on. We want to say that, governments now have our best interest at heart, and they do. They do for, but it's still the government. And I'm not going to speak out against, anything, because we're just going to say allegedly here on YouTube. You guys make your own assessments, but I just want to bring this to the table because, with the last administration, there was a lot of hoopla going on the last 10, 20 years about one world order. Well, there is only one world order. It's one world order that looks like this, or a one world order that looks like this. And it's pick your poison. One is worse off than the other, but both have the same outcome. Let's listen to this. Okay? John B. Calhoun's Universe 25 experiment, which demonstrated how a mouse utopia can collapse due to social dysfunction. Despite unlimited resources, this experiment proves eerie parallels to human societal breakdowns and narcissistic abuse dynamics. Let's look into this experiment and see its parallels with narcissistic trauma. So here's the setup. You got a perfect world. A perfect world was created for mice. Unlimited food, water, nesting materials, and above all, no predators. Woohoo! This was the mice wonderland. The Mac Daddy of Disneyland's kind of thing. The song, It's a Small World After All. If you go to Disneyland, that's the song that they play. in Cinderella's castle. It's a small world after all. It's a small world. Could you imagine working there? You come out of that with frickin' a weird earworm every single day. It's a small, small world. Oh, ooh. All right, enough of that. So this enclosure had a fixed size with multiple compartments and ramps. So what happened? Did these mice all learn to get along? Did their wonderland set the tone for other mice, maybe in the wild, passed down from generation to generation? What really happened with this experiment is quite concerning. How did the mice like their environments where they could be a mouse and do what mice do? But even when their ability to be a mice, mice forage, they look for food, they didn't have to go collect nesting materials, they didn't have to stay vigilant and keep, watch for predators. I mean, they were safe. Their instincts that they were born with for survival were taken away from them. That's the underlying issue here. It may seem like, oh, you don't have to do anything. We'll supply all your needs. We'll do everything for you. Sounds just like a narcissist, doesn't it? I'll give you food, clothing, and shelter. I'll pay your way for you. I'll pay your rent. It's okay. I'll make your car payment for the next 5 months. It's okay. Wow, it sounds nice. What's the catch? Well, with the narcissist, nothing comes for free. They're buying your loyalty. Okay. Oh, I'm glitching? I'm sorry, I didn't think I was glitching. Notice that too. Okay, vid seems good now though. Okay, maybe it was the internet maybe? Okay, are we good now? Okay, I'm okay. All right, thanks for letting me know. All right, so I'll try to be brief. We're almost done this video anyways, so thank you. All right. So just think about this for a second. The mice's instincts to survive and fend for themselves were taken away. Like God says, do not worry. Like he tells us not to worry about what to wear, what to drink, what to eat, because he says that the lilies of the field are taken care of, the sparrows, the birds, all the animals are taken care of. God put instinct in these animals for them to be taken care of. And scientists come along and take away that instinct. There's a price to pay for that. And this is pretty sick and twisted. It causes suffering. So these mice didn't have to stay vigilant. They didn't have to keep an eye out for predators. They didn't have to forage. They didn't have to, fend for themselves. They didn't have to take care of themselves. Like they were just, everything was given to them. They were outside their natural habitat of instinct. And this was all well and good until their utopian land became a haven for predators as they became the prey and predator. So here's what happened. There was the phase 1. This was the initial growth of the community of mice between 0 to 104 days. Thanks for the loves. Hey, Asir, how you doing? How you doing? Oh, you bring hope in a safe space. Thank you very much. I know who you are. Thank you. Mwah. It's good to have you here. Lovely person. Love your name, by the way. All right, so this phase 1, this had a few breeding pairs that were introduced to the group, and the population doubled every 55 days. As mice produced, they were able to produce freely. What fun. Okay, so this was free love, free food, free shelter too. Wow, couldn't have it any better, right? They were like living the hippie life, like in the 60s, free love, Woodstock. They had their own thing going on here, They just need the Beatles anyways, so this is okay. So this seemed to be going okay, but there were problems before it even started, and that's by the scientists taking away their instincts. But everything just seemed to be going good. At phase 2, this is at 105 days and 315 days. This population of mice reached 600 mice. So we went from, where did it, oh, it didn't say. Okay, the population doubled every 55 days. They introduced a few breeding pairs. So now we have 600 mice. Okay, so after, these mice started growing, hierarchies formed. There was dominant males, there was controlled nesting spots, while other mice were actually pushed into lower status areas of this confined space. Okay, so remember that this confined space had compartments, and it housed 3,840 mice comfortably. Okay, there was compartments and ramps, and it was a fixed size that it was an enclosure for these mice. So it was like the hierarchies formed. The dominant males were, just say over on the left side, and the isolated mice, the lower status mice were on the left side. Just for, I don't know if that's true, but just for this talk here, let's just, to make this thought experiment a little bit easier to comprehend. So with this, social rejection increased. What this means is that isolated mice and bullied mice began showing passivity and withdrawal. So the dominant males and the dominant mice were bullying their own kind, isolating and causing these lower status mice to feel rejected. They became passive, and they began to withdraw from their social clutches, their social groups, the social dynamics. They stopped being social mice. Okay, so phase 3. This is called the behavioral sink. This happened at 315 days to 560 days. Social dysfunction exploded. There was maternal neglect, where mothers stopped caring for their young, stopped feeding them, stopped nursing them, stopped, taking care of them, defending them. This led to high infant mortality. And this also led to violence and cannibalism. Mice began attacking each other, sometimes even eating the weaker ones. Now, science called certain mice the beautiful ones. Who might these be? Some male mice completely withdrew. Thanks for the loves. It's nice to see you all here. Thank you very much. Now, when some of these mice completely withdrew, what happened was they began to groom themselves excessively, but never mating or engaging socially. This is what happens in narcissistic collapse, where the narcissist withdraws from society and disengages themselves from society. So these scientists called these mice the beautiful ones because they were grooming themselves excessively, looking beautiful and pretty and smelling all nice and whatever, but they never mated, and they disengaged socially. Phase 4. Total collapse in 560 days. Just over a year. Almost 2 years, right? So this was like, we have 600 mice. Okay, so we have an enclosure that is able to fit 3,840 mice comfortably. At 0 to 104 days, we see that the population doubled every 55 days. But how much the population, I should have, taken the time to figure that out. Sorry, but at 315 days, the population reached 600 mice. Okay, so 315 days. 315 days. That's almost a year. 315 days, we have 600 mice. Okay? So, phase 4, 560 days. Birth rates went to 0. And the population started dying off rapidly. Why? Because of cannibalism, because of bullying, because of the withdrawal. Even when scientists gave new spaces and conditions for these mice to help them survive, these surviving mice never recovered normal mice behaviors. The society of these mice were doomed to extinction. Wow. Moose jaw, right. You've seen the collapse from a narcissist. It's actually really heartbreaking. It is, isn't it, Sophia? And I pray and pray when I witness this. Yeah, it's really chocolate mousse, pure blood. Hi, pure blood. How you doing? Hi, Madison. How you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, 3 blind mice. Right. Right. Okay, where am I here? So, you're all so crazy. Like, actually, it's make-believe. You guys pay bills, drive cars, but you believe this nonsense. It's not real. Well, you can believe what you're entitled to believe what you want to believe. That's fine. Okay, Madison, I don't agree with everything Shannon says. That's true. You don't have to. And you can appreciate her safety and safe space. Lively debate. Yeah. Hey, Sierra, how you doing? I'm invisible, I guess. No, you're not. You're welcome here. Hi. Nice to see you. I'm sorry. I'm just busy reading, and whether you believe this study or not, you can research it for yourself. I personally think it's interesting because for me, it shares with how our minds think and how our minds are moldable, and how somebody who is in a position who takes arbitrary a position of authority and is able to conform us. You know what? So, okay, let me backtrack. We pay bills, drive cars, but you believe this nonsense? Okay, let me see if... Oh my gosh. Asir says, they did this with elephants, took the males away, and the young males had no way to learn how to behave, so they went violent. Wow. Yes, Madison, I know we're humans, not a mice, but you know what? The reason why they're using mice, okay, all animals feel. All animals have the same hormones that we do, because our emotions are hormonal. So this is the thing. And you can see this collapse. We're not mice. We're not mice. Okay, that's fine. You want to believe that? Go ahead. Hang on a sec. I just got something going on here with my computer. Oh, in low power mode. Dang it. All right. All right. Hang on a sec. I got to plug us in. Okay, what is going on? I'm hitting some sort of, okay, there we go. Woo! All right, whatever. Okay, so I got low power going on here. Okay, so my point is about this mice thing. Yeah, we're human beings. We're human beings. But guess what? We all feel. We animals and humans alike. We are part of the animal family. Humans are called animals. Did you not know that? Did you not learn that in school? We're animals. We're animals. And you can see this experiment playing out if you do your research. P. Diddy, trafficking of the human sense. You know, there's people who use pit dogs against dogs. What are cockfights? You know, the rooster fights. Now we have putting humans in cages and having them duke it out in the name of entertainment and a sport. Really, boxing is a sport. Really, it's a sport. Give me a break. But people believe that. I don't necessarily believe it, but you know, it's a sport. It's a sport. But look at P. Diddy. Look at sex trafficking. Look at adrenochrome. Oh, that's not real? Okay. I know what I really saw. I know when Obama was in office, I forced myself to research, and you won't find these videos anymore on YouTube, but I forced myself to research slaughterhouses in Somalia. And what I saw, you can't sleep at night. People are sick and twisted. And even the Bible talks about, look in Lamentations. Look up Josephus. He was a Jewish historian that worked for the Romans. He was a Roman historian for the Hebrew history. He even talked about cannibalism. When Titus came and ransacked Jerusalem, Rome was deliberate. Rome actually ransacked Jerusalem at the time of Passover, where Jerusalem was overfilled with people. They prepared for Passover where people came from outer cities, the outlier cities, the nation of Egypt, people who were of Israel descent, who were living in Egypt, came to worship Passover and came to the temple, came directly to Jerusalem. So wasn't there about 3,000 people who came in that were not direct citizens of Israel, and they came from outer cities, and Jerusalem, the king of Jerusalem, had to prepare for all of that. So he had to have extra food in the storehouses, and Rome took advantage of that. Once all these people were in the city walls of Jerusalem, Jerusalem was locked inside her own city walls, couldn't leave because Romans encamped around it. So what happened? Read Lamentations. Women ate their own children. Josephus tells us that people were, the people that escaped were able to tell the stories, but Rome said, oh, here's your beloved king. Your king has come back, forcing people to go and worship in the temple. And what did he do? He set fire to the outer gates of the temple, burning people alive. And when the food ran out, people were, selling their stuff to other people, like probably even prostituting themselves in exchange for money so that they could go buy grain for their family. But what happened when the money ran out? What happened when the grain ran out? People resorted to cannibalism. It's there. History has it. And, this is what their experiments showed. And we're seeing a degenerate of our hierarchy now. Why do you think people aren't fighting back? Why do you think we haven't had civil war yet? With the Biden administration, with Obama administration, with the Bushes, with the Clintons, with even Trump, like, why have we not had civil war? Even in Canada, why do you think we haven't had civil war? Because we've been taught not to fight. We've had our weapons taken away from us. We're not even allowed to carry pepper spray. It's illegal. So please don't tell me this is all fake. It's not make-believe. Yeah, we're not mice, but we're all animals, and we show our animal instincts. And God tells us this. Be careful of wolves in sheep's clothing. We take on the characteristics of animals when we take ourselves out of God's domestication of empathy for our fellow man. So, let me get back to this. So there is one crucial difference in all of this. We can wake up. Unlike mice, we have the power of awareness, choice, and rebellion. The moment you recognize the manipulation, the spell is broken. The fear loses its grip. The dopamine-driven addiction weakens. The oxytocin bond no longer chains you. The key to breaking free is knowing you're in the cage to begin with. In a world designed to condition us, whether by narcissists or social structures, the ultimate action of defiance is to think for yourself, and that's the point of this video. The point is not to share with us, oh, you're mice. Jesus says, do not throw your pearl before swine. Even the Canaanite woman calls herself a dog and says, even the dog, gets scraps from his master's table. So yeah, even, let's just be honest here and stop trying to split hairs. So in a world that is designed to condition us, we have the power to break free. So it's up to you what you want to believe. Okay? But at the end of this phase, it only took four phases, 560 days. That's all it took for this new mouse utopia to collapse. And it died off the mice died off rapidly. And again, even when new spaces and conditions were introduced for these surviving mice, they never recovered to normal behaviors. The society was doomed to extinction. And that's why Jesus needs to step in. When I read this, I'm reminded of what happened when Babylon came and ransacked Jerusalem. King Nebuchadnezzar took off with the priests. But he left a remnant, a people who were weak. He left the weak ones behind in Jerusalem to defend for themselves. They had no weapons. They had no idea how to defend themselves. They had no word of God to follow. They had no priesthood to follow. They were defenseless. What happened to them? Well, God tells us for 70 years, 70, Israel did not follow God. And so that's why the Israelites went into captivity into Babylon for 70 years, 70. So when you read the book of Nehemiah, you see that the kingdom to ransack Jerusalem before King Nebuchadnezzar was Assyria. And Nehemiah was taken as a prisoner of war by the Assyrian kingdom. And he begged the king of Assyria for him, can you release me to go and rebuild Jerusalem? And the king did. And it's thanks to Nehemiah, who helped the remnant of the sacking of King Nebuchadnezzar, those people who had nobody, nothing. Nehemiah went back and helped to rebuild. And Nehemiah brought people who were of clansmen to help rebuild the city walls and the city gates. So these people needed a leader. We all need a leader. It's psychologically proven that kids need boundaries. What happens when you don't have boundaries on a kid? They become narcissistic. So what this means for human society and narcissism? Well, forced conformity and social hierarchies, okay? So just like the dominant mice who controlled resources and territory in this, utopian experiment, narcissists create power imbalances, forcing others to submit through manipulation, triangulation, and abuse. It's the beautiful ones, the beautiful mice who just groomed themselves all day long and never interacted socially, never wanted to mate. Well, this shows victim shutdown. The withdrawal of these males mirror how narcissists abuse victims, sometimes emotionally, causing a shutdown in us and in the narcissist. I mean, the narcissistic collapse is an emotional shutdown for the narcissist too. And we all avoid relationships out of fear and betrayal or pain. Number 3, this shows us the breakdown of family and parental neglect. Maternal neglect in the mice experiment mirrors how narcissistic parents emotionally abandon their children. You don't have to be a mice to see how parents neglect their children. And this leads to a generation of emotionally disconnected individuals. That's why we're traumatized. Many of us have gone through parental abuse and neglect. And this experiment shows us that there's destruction despite abundance, because if you are given abundance without being allowed to engage in your inherent instincts, then abundance is futile. But if you marry the two, the scientists didn't allow these mice to have an option, forage for food, and also have a supply of food with them. Just like how, people put bird feeders out. Okay? People put bird feeders out on their yards, but that's just an option. People are like, well, I'm just having this here in case food is scarce for we have a hard winter. Food might be scarce for the birds. So here, I'm just going to help them out. The birds get to make a choice, and they get the best of two worlds. They both forage for their own food, and they come along and they're like, yeah, I want a little snack. I want some suet today. And this is what helps the birds and the squirrels and the animal kingdom to thrive. They got the best of both worlds. So why not give us the best of both worlds? That's what we're seeing today. We've got this awareness going on, this awakening of truth versus lies, plus there's a promise of abundance and new social reforms coming. So understand that if you're given the best of both worlds, if you're allowed to operate in abundance while having your own free autonomy and having your own instincts in check, society can flourish. So within the society of mice, even with everything they needed, the mice still self-destructed. And that's a warning, because comfort and resources alone don't create a healthy society. Without a strong social structure and a sense of morality and purpose, even the best conditions can lead to collapse. So take caution with this new golden age coming. Some people are not going to survive because they're dependent. They don't have the instinctual skills to go and forage for their own food and make their own lives, or stand on their own morality and use the abundance that's given to drive them to do things that they need to do. Because, let's face it, a lot of things were given, like during the times of the jab, our governments were giving out free money, to help us survive. Some of us did not take that money. And we survived and we suffered, but that suffering produced perseverance and strength, so we know what we're made out of. And some people who have just been given handouts all their lives, they take welfare, they take, everything that the government socially can give them. They take advantage of that, and it's gimme, 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 gimme. They're not strong enough to really withstand what is to come, even though things might be given to us in the future. Those of us who are still living in our free autonomy, in our instincts, even though we're given something, we're going to be able to make a life for ourselves. And we're going to be able to structure our lives on our morals and have this abundance, not structure our lives around our abundance, but have our abundance be structured around the lives, our instinctual fortitude that we formed. So, hi Damien, how you doing? Hi. So, Aquaviva. Oh, I like that. Aquaviva. Yes, we're water, aren't we? We are water. So, with Calhoun's experiments, this shows us that social roles break down, and when individuality is crushed by dominance, isolation, or apathy, society de-evolves into chaos, just like a narcissistic family system or toxic communities do. Narcissistic systems, whether they're in families, workplaces, relationships, or society, thrive on control, submission, and emotional dependency. Now, if you don't learn how to navigate them, they will drain your energy. They'll break your spirit and rewrite your identity into something that serves them. But you do not have to be crushed, as you're not. You can break free, as you have. You can resist, as you are still resisting. You can thrive, as you already are thriving by surviving. So I'm going to let you guys go, but I just want to drop some helpful hints for you guys. Because here is how you buck the system and get out of that narcissistic stranglehold. You master your own power of awareness. You can't fight what you can't see. Learn to identify the manipulative tactics, the gaslighting, the triangulation, the blame shifting, the love bombing. See those patterns early. If something feels off, it's off. Trust your gut instincts. Understand how narcissists operate. They don't win by strength. They win by confusion. So don't let them disorientate you. Here's a mindful shift. Instead of asking, why are they doing this to me? Ask yourself, what system are they running? Narcissists aren't as complex as they seem. They follow predictable cycles. And when you recognize the game, the game that they play, you can stop it. Number 2, control your emotional responses. Narcissists feed on reactions, and every time you react emotionally, whether through anger, sadness, fear, guilt, you give them power over you. So go gray rock. Give them nothing. Be unresponsive. Be boring. Be emotionally neutral. Practice detachment training. Hi, Daniel. Nice to see you. Hi, Damien. How you doing? So, practice detachment. See them as a case study in psychology, not a personal threat. Practice delaying your responses. Instead of reacting instantly, pause. We talked about this last night or yesterday. Go silent, say no. Just stay silent, let them speak. Instead of reacting instantly, give yourself a pause. Give yourself space to think. Your emotions are not public property. Okay? Your emotions are nobody else's business, and they're not public property. The moment you let a narcissist dictate how you feel, you are then giving them ownership over your mind and your heart. So take that power back. Be silent. Go Grey Rock. And for goodness sakes, understand who you are. Narcissistic systems break people by breaking them down, by doubting your worth, by having you doubt your choices and your beliefs. The stronger the sense of yourself is, the harder you are to manipulate. Define who you are. What are your values? Are you going to tell the truth no matter what? Are you going to call a spade and call it out? You know, the narcissist wants you to stay silent. What are you not willing to stay silent on? You know, when a narcissist gives you something, you know, when you know you're dealing with a narcissist and they give you something, I think for me, I'm going to start saying, you know what, just because you've given me something doesn't buy my loyalty. Just because you've given me this or given me a job or, you know, given me new shoes or a place to stay, you're not buying my loyalty. I'm not going against my moral compass for you. That's what they want. They want you to have that identity shift. They want your identity to become their identity. So write down your boundaries. What's a no-go for you? Make a list of what you will not tolerate. Develop personal autonomy. The more independent you are, financially, emotionally, spiritually, the harder it is for a narcissist to ever control you. So here's a mindset shift. You are not here to be approved of. You are here to become unshakable. You know, when I went for my power walk yesterday, you know what God told me? He told me, you're undercover, girl. As all of us are. Think of yourself as undercover. You know, like you watch those, gumshoe movies and, those cop shows, those drama shows, daytime or nighttime TV shows where you've got the cop going undercover. That's us. Our cover is in flesh, but who we really are is spirit, and we're undercover. We're spiritual individuals, and we shine spirituality to everybody. Some people won't receive it, some people will. And guess what? When Jesus comes back, then we get to report to God. As in Revelation tells us that we get to judge the sinners. That's what this is. We may not remember them, but when we go to God, we're like, oh yeah, that person did something dirty against another person. We may not have judged them in that moment, but we get to, it's not just about ourselves. We hold information, spiritual information in our divinity about the people that we encounter. Oh. So it's not just about us going through the white seat of judgment. We're taking that knowledge of interacting with somebody who has done us dirty. We're not holding on to it now, but we get to make it known to God, and God gets to decide to judge that and judge that person through our experience of dealing with that individual. Ooh, we're undercover. You're an undercover angel. Ooh, I like that. So, if that helps you, let it help you. If it doesn't make sense to you, that's okay. It may. It may not. You don't, it was just my personal encounter with God yesterday that I felt I wanted to share with you because I feel it's special. So 12, 12, 12 people on, 12 likes. Thank you, everyone. It's nice to see you. Hi, and thanks for the loves. Loves back to you guys. So write down your boundaries. Make a list of what you will and will not tolerate, okay? So get your independence back. Financially, emotionally, spiritually, because then it's harder for the narcissist to control you. Use tactical silence and strategic action. Sometimes the best response is no response. Just stay silent. Observation is your go-to. Don't observe, don't absorb. Okay? Find an exit and just leave. You don't owe a narcissist any explanation. You don't need to justify why you're setting boundaries. Narcissists hate when you move in silence and they can't have a response from you, so they're going to go find it somewhere else. And make your exit when they least expect it. You can make your exit while they're still talking. It's not rude, but plan your escape carefully. Whether it's leaving a toxic job, a relationship, or a family dynamic, you have to judge whether, it's best just to leave when they're done talking, when things are settled, when everything's kind of okay, peaceful. You have to decide the setting, but make your exit. The day speaks in tongues. True. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So disrupt the narcissist game. Narcissistic narcissistic systems expect you to react, submit, or break down, or chase them. Well, flip the script. Don't chase anybody. Use humor and mockery. Laugh at their attempts to control you. Yeah, I see what you're doing. You thought that was funny, eh? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But throw them off balance by letting them know that you see, I see that, gaslight. That was pretty clever of you. Well done. I like that. I'll have to use that next time. Maybe I'll use that on you. Oh, that was really good. Refuse to engage in the drama. If they start a fight, act unbothered. Stay silent. They need chaos to thrive. You don't. And turn the spotlight back on them. When they accuse you, ask, why do you feel you need to say that? Or, I'm sorry, is something wrong? Use this, especially when they start using you as the brunt of their jokes, or they're trying to hurt you. Instead of saying, why would you say that? You're saying, especially in front of a crowd, I'm sorry, is something wrong? Are you okay? Are you having a bad day? That will shift the balance into your favor. And they won't know what to say. So make them explain themselves. You're not the victim here. You are a player who knows the game and refuses to be played. Okay? So this is, they say, if you want to play poker and you're playing with a cheater, you cannot expect to win by playing the game with the normal rules. You want to win against a cheater, you're going to have to cheat. Okay? But you want to stop the cheating, then you're going to have to cheat the cheater and use their own tactics against them by calling it out and being more skillful. And we're supposed to be as innocent as doves and shrewd as snakes. Well, you can use the shrewdness against them. So build a life outside of the system, their system. Narcissist systems collapse when you no longer need them. Create your own supportive network. Find people who uplift you, not people who drain you. Develop a source of meaning outside of toxic people. Find hobbies, spirituality, passions, things that they cannot take from you. 1313. Wow, this is cool. I love these numbers. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Develop a source of meaning outside of toxic people. Okay? So find you again. Go do things you love to do. Become self-sufficient. The less independent or the less dependent you are on things and people, the more control you have in your life. So here's a mindset shift. Freedom comes when you no longer need their approval, their validation, or resources to survive. They make you weak because these are things that they need. And if they can make you like them, then they can exploit these and use them to their advantage. They need your approval. They need your validation. They need your resources. Don't make yourself available to them. So here's how you shift from survivor to warrior. You know, Xena, the warrior princess. You know, have you guys ever seen that show? Yeah, I'm guilty. I'll admit it. I watched her. Yeah. So I loved how she was just so fierce, you know. I know it was just acting, but still. All right, surviving a narcissistic system isn't enough. You gotta survive beyond it. It's called thriving. So turn your pain into wisdom. Let what happened make you stronger, sharper, and more unstoppable. Don't wait for justice. Create your own. Whether that means helping others, rebuilding your life, or simply living well in defiance of those who tried to break you. That's your power right there. That's some power. Oh my gosh. So, you're embarrassing yourself statement. Exactly, Daniel. Joe says, I'm pretty sure Scarlett has seen your request as well. Okay, what's the request? Dope talk, Shannon. Well balanced. 12-12. Thank you. Okay, yes, we laugh, we destroy, it destroys them. Our laughter destroys them. Yes. Okay, was there somebody's request? Okay. Okay, Shannon, I deleted the Telegram app. My data was low last week. Okay, so if you want to get back on that, you're welcome. So I need you to hook me back up again. Okay, I'll hook you back up. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks, Joe, for letting me know that. I'm pretty sure Scarlett has seen your request as well. Okay, so I did that the other day. Stayed calm in silence. He went crazy, and then crazier, and then livid. I calmly said, it's best you go back to your home. I'm not doing this again. Good for you. From inside my house to his friend's car, he kept yelling and talking. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Good for you. That's taking your power back. Wow. That's freaking awesome. Good for you. Hearts to you, girl. That's strength. Girl power. Girl power. So understand that in your life, you're not escaping anymore. You're evolving. You're creating somebody that you can be proud of. Okay? Oh, you're welcome, Sophia. Thanks for sharing. That's awesome. So here's my final thought on the matter. 2:29. That's the timestamp. That's awesome. I love these times. I don't know. Numbers are awesome, right? They're a language to themselves, but that's another video altogether. Okay, so the final thought in this video is narcissists and toxic systems thrive on fear, confusion, submission. What's the antidote? Clarity, strength, and indifference. Once you stop reacting, the narcissist loses their grip. Once you detach, they lose their power. Once you choose yourself, yay me! They become irrelevant. And that's how you win. Thanks for watching. I love you all. So thank you for watching this video tonight, or today, excuse me. It's still the afternoon. Missed yesterday's live. I apologize for that. But I thank you all for coming and helping me through this and making this channel your own. There's important links in the description of this video. You want to talk with me, you have my email. You want to donate to this channel, you have my PayPal and Stripe account as Stripe does take credit card. You have my Telegram channel at Serenity Blue. If you guys want to get in on our private group chat, you are welcome. Just send me a direct message in Telegram and I'll send you a link. Sophia, I got you covered. I'll send you something. Don't you worry. And what else? Oh, you want downloadables? There's my Ko-Fi channel in the link, and you can head on over to my downloadable library full of PDFs, booklets. Some are free, so check them out. Whatever has your fancy. There's Bible study, getting to know God. There's helping you understand about how you can heal by taking on a new perspective, practicing impermanence and radical acceptance, anger management. There's even a little booklet about sex education. It's called Adam's Rib. Very informative. And yeah, I wrote it for families to help us understand why sex is what it is and all that stuff. It doesn't need to be icky, but it's a taboo topic in Christian circles. So why not talk about it? Because many of us have hang-ups, many of us have drawbacks, and many of us feel guilty doing things that come naturally. Well, what is it that is unnatural about it? I share with you in that booklet. So take a chance and download something. You might like it, and if not, you're welcome to discuss it with me. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to grow as you are. So just because I write things, I share with you guys what I know, I'm still here to learn, and I'm here to grow with you, and you guys are helping me do that. So I appreciate guys. I appreciate you guys. I really do, because I wouldn't be here in this spot in my life with such a huge transition without these videos and without your help, without your suggestions, your friendship, your support, your kindness, your love. So here's to you all. I love you. No, it's this way. This way. I love you. See you back here at 10. Go make your day great. Enjoy your afternoon. Bye-bye. Oh, before I go, thank you, Scarlett, for your help. I appreciate her moderation. Thank you so much, my dear, and I hope you get to come back whenever you can to moderate. You've done a wonderful job. Yay. Claps to you. Hugs to you, girl. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, have a good day.